What's up, everyone? This is Pooka, and welcome to another game I played on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. Now, I've enjoyed playing this Kingdra Greninja deck quite a bit. I wasn't really sure how good it was going to be when I first built it, but the more I played it, the more it's kind of grown on me. And here's another interesting game that we can take a look at here. So I'm going to start off with the Froakie and the Horsey on the bench. I should really get those 60 HP Froakie. The 10 HP does make a pretty big difference. You can get the 60 HP Froakie is actually in the theme deck that has Froakie, but the ones from the set only have 50 hit points. What's up with that? I don't know. So I need to get my 10 extra HP Froakie to really make this deck complete, but that's another story, I suppose. It looks like we're going up against a Darkrai Yveltal deck, which is going to become probably one of the mainstays of the format. Yveltal EX is extremely good, and I mean, you're going to have to deal with it. State championships are coming up soon, and I would not be surprised if this deck was extremely popular. It looks like it has all the tools to be one of the best decks, if not the best deck. So that should be interesting to see. Alrighty, so I'm going to start off with a level ball for a Horsey. We're going to get that into play. Froakie is poisoned from the Hypnotoxic Laser. Kind of strange since my opponent played a Shadow Circle. Normally we see, Laser with Burbank City Gym, but it looks like we just see Shadow Circle to take away weakness here. I'm fortunate enough to have a Tropical Beach to start off with, which I do think is pretty darn good in this deck since you're running so many Stage 2 Pokemon. You do need to draw a lot of cards early on, but I'm going to go ahead and Tropical Beach for 5. I'm going to retreat to a Horsey. Seems unlikely that Horsey gets knocked out unless we see like a Muscle Band and then another Laser from that Yveltal on the bench. There is the regular Yveltal that has Oblivion Wing for 1 Darkness Energy, does 30, and then takes a Darkness Energy out of the discard pile and attaches it to one of your bench Pokemon. That's a very strong attack, especially for a 130 HP basic Pokemon that only gives up 1 prize. And especially considering how good Yveltal EX is, there you go. Get a nice look at regular Yveltal there. But yeah, Yveltal EX is extremely strong, so anything that can get extra energy on it is pretty darn good in my book. Now we see an Ultra Ball for the Mr. Mime, and that Mr. Mime's actually going to be a real pain in the butt. Kingdra's attack Tri-Bullet actually really tries to hit the bench, and we can't do that with Mr. Mime out there. I gotta say, Mr. Mime is a card that's kind of fallen off in popularity recently because, well, not too much stuff is hitting the bench anymore. I mean, there are cards that do, but it seems like the format has shifted more towards hitting the active Pokemon. So we don't see Mr. Mime as much. It's still around, obviously, but hey, it's definitely going to do a big number on Kingdra's potential here. Since we cannot really even try Bullet and hit the bench, that's going to be a real pain. But we do see a Shadow Circle and an Energy Switch onto the Darkrai, and this is going to be kind of scary. A quick Darkrai can definitely give this deck fits. We don't really have bench space for Mr. Mime in this deck. We usually want a lot of Greninja and Kingdra, and then we want that Electrode late in the game to continue to draw cards. So, yeah, Night Spear's actually going to do some pretty big damage. Hitting 30 to the bench is still pretty darn good, if you ask me. But we're going to go ahead and get a Voltorb into play after a nice Chorus for 6. And I do have, 4 water in the discard pile, not nearly enough to knock out the Darkrai with Dragon Vortex. Does 20 damage times the number of water and lightning energy in the discard pile. Then you shuffle in all those energies. So right now, Dragon Vortex is just doing 80 damage. Not really worth doing. Then again, all I can do is try Bullet. So it's like, what do I do here? I'm just going to try Bullet for 30. Soften up the Darkrai a little bit so that when Yveltal EX, if my opponent decides to go to Yveltal EX, I'll have enough water in the discard to potentially get a knockout if we can get some Greninja in play start using that water shuriken ability. Get 30 damage on it and go from there. We see a crushing hammer and a silver mirror, so all sorts of crazy things coming out of my opponent's deck. And then a bicycle as well. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. Now, if my opponent gets a muscle band or a dark claw here, that could be a very, very bad thing. Kingdra will get knocked out. We don't want to see that happen. So I'm kind of hoping my opponent doesn't get one of those. We do see a dowsing machine, and there is Skyla. Uh-oh. So I'm thinking that's going to go for, yep, there is the muscle band. It's going to go on a Darkrai, and now the Night Spear does just enough to knock out poor Kingdra. 110 damage with the Night Spear, and 32 bench Pokemon. Darkrai's pretty good against these kinds of decks. It's gotten a little worse against the big basic decks. Yveltal EX really hits Darkrai hard, but against these kinds of decks, I would say Darkrai is still pretty good. Now, got a lot of energy in the discard pile, so we're going to see if we can't knock out Darkrai this turn. I'm going to start off by using an Ultra Ball, and maybe we can get a Greninja going, so we can Water Shuriken, and if we can do that, we should be able to Dragon Vortex for a knockout. So I'm going to Magnetic Draw here, and I have that dowsing machine in my hand. I can probably use that for Colress, just so we can draw a ton of cards. I would like to get multiple Greninja going right now. We've gotten 2 Stage 2s out. Well, we've gotten 3 out so far this game. We really need to keep a stream of them going. Unfortunately, my last Horsey is prized, so we're going to have to find a Super Rod or dig it out of the prizes. I didn't realize I've run out of Horseys so quickly. Something you got to look out for. Kingdra is your main attacker in the deck, so you got to be careful. But looks like we got enough energy in the discard. We can actually put 30 on the benched Yveltal EX. And then Dragon Vortex, we got 8 energy in the discard pile, so we can do 160 damage and finish that bad boy off. And we're tied up right now. So, I don't know, anything can happen from here, but we definitely need to get some Horsey into play right now. We need to get a Horsey out of the prizes or find that Super Rod immediately. But looks like no Horsey, no nothing to work with. And this is going to be tough. Now, the Yveltal EX is in the active spot. And oh no, we see a Dark Claw. That means a Y-Cyclone could knock me out, or even another Evil Ball with 3 energy does the trick. It does add up. It's kind of silly, but it does. We also see a red card, which limits my hand quite a bit. It's pretty disappointing to see. And I'm going to promote Greninja here and see what happens. I got the Tropical Beach. That works. I'm probably going to end up using that this turn. I'm going to Skyla, and I think I have to take Super Rod right here. I mean, we have to shuffle in, a couple Horsey and maybe a Kingdra, because I don't think I'm going to win unless I get another Kingdra into play this game. Greninja does 50 for 1, but that's not really that good. We can go ahead and Water Shuriken, put 3 damage counters on the Yveltal EX, and that Magnetic Draw for, oh no, 3 water and a rare candy. Ugh. I could Mist Slash here, but that doesn't leave me with many options for next turn. I think I should just retreat to a Froakie, sacrifice another Pokemon, and then Tropical Beach for 3 cards. That's probably going to give me my best chance at drawing what I need. Drawing up to 4 with Electrode is nice, but it doesn't always give you the right options. And 7 cards is better than 4. I'm going to lose a prize no matter what, because Yveltal is just going to knock out pretty much everything. So we'll sacrifice a Froakie to the mighty Yveltal EX, and see if we can recover next turn. Got a pretty good hand off of that Tropical Beach. Now we have rare candy for another Greninja. And it might not seem like it, but we do have enough damage to start threatening that Yveltal EX. It has, 60 damage on it right now. So if we do 2 Water Shuriken and then a Mist Slash, that actually knocks it out. Kind of weird, but that is 110 total damage. Kind of strange how quickly that adds up. And let's see what happens. I think my opponent played a Dark Patch and or an Energy Switch or something, and may have moved the energy to the wrong spot. I think he's probably going for something else, but I don't know. We'll see. He's got some regular Yveltal back up there. And now this is the big move. We get to double Water Shuriken, put 6 damage counters on the defending Pokemon. But, still no Horsey, even though we shuffled in 2 of them. Not looking good. We do get to Mist Slash and knock out this Yveltal EX, though. So that's pretty good. And, alright, finally we got a Horsey out of the prizes. Maybe we can get something going here. I'm not sure. Now it's 2 prizes to 2 at this point. I'm thinking this Greninja will survive. It has 130 HP, but ooh, there's a laser. That's not good. And we'll have to see what happens from here. Now I have to find a way to take 2 prizes. The easiest way will probably be to knock out an EX. If I can get Kingdra into play, we should be able to knock out an EX with ease. Pretty simple. Other way would be we can Water Shuriken that Mr. Mime 3 times, and then take a knockout on a regular Pokemon as well. Those are our 2 options at this point. And, oh man, Greninja stayed asleep. Well. Let's see what we can do here. So we have the Horsey. I'm going to go ahead and Professor's Letter just to see how many water are left in the deck. We have 5. So that's going to let me Water Shuriken enough times to knock out the Mr. Mime, since we can hit it with damage counters from an ability. It just blocks damage from attacks, so this is neither damage nor an attack, so Water Shuriken still hits it. And that means, well, I'm going to go ahead and Escape Rope here first. Maybe my opponent will send out Mr. Mime, who knows. You never know. We just want the Greninja out of the active spot. Escape Rope can sometimes trick your opponent, but it looks like he made the right move. Just sending out that other regular Yveltal. But yeah, we're going to go with the plan now. Just Water Shuriken the Mr. Mime twice. Guess we'll Tool Scrapper the Silver Mirror. Doesn't really do much, but whatever. And I could Magnetic Draw for 1, but I think I'd rather not. You know, like if I drew the Kingdra there, that would be terrible. I would have to discard it. And so we got a decent hand off of this Juniper. I'm going to go ahead and Ultra Ball away some dead cards at this point. And Ultra Ball for a Kingdra. So next turn we should be able to get Rare Candy Kingdra and possibly win the game. I'm going to Magnetic Draw here, see if there's another card I could play down from my hand before I beach. And no, so we're just going to Tropical Beach until I draw 7 cards. I got another Shauna from my opponent. And, you know, unless we see a Max Potion here, I think I've pretty much won the game right now. I mean, it seemed weird. We were under a lot of pressure early on. That quick Night Spear. Then we got a big one-hit knockout on that Darkrai. And then we slowly chipped away at that second Yveltal EX. And if we can just get one more Kingdra this turn, we should be good to go. Got enough water in the discard for the Dragon Vortex. And I think that should be enough to win, depending on what Pokemon is active. And yeah, Yveltal EX is just going to come active. So here we go with a Muscle Band. There's an Evil Ball for 120 damage. I'm just going to promote Greninja so I can retreat. And I'm going to go Rare Candy into the Kingdra. Retreat into it. And I'm going to Water Shuriken. I should make sure I can actually knock out Yveltal EX. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This should be energy number 9. This is probably unnecessary, but we're going to play out all our cards. We'll see if we can... how many energy we can get in the discard pile. Looks like the last card was the last water. Oops. But that's going to be it. Dragon Vortex, 180 damage. And boy, is this deck resilient or what? Just when it seems like its back is against the wall, you get a big Dragon Vortex, some Water Shuriken, and dang, all of a sudden you've taken 6 prizes. So Kingdra Greninja, I wouldn't say this is a deck that's going to be very popular, but maybe it has some strength to it. I don't know, it keeps winning games against good decks, so who knows? Maybe Kingdra Greninja has something to it. Alright, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will certainly have some more videos for you soon. I am Pooka from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.